So we're gonna get started going over the homework. We'll start with we already did the very first one together. So the second one on the top, this is it, except for just like I mentioned yesterday, I don't have a computer program that's able to do this. So pretend the circle's finished. So this is what you should have looked like for that first one. So everything has to look just like this, except for you have a finished circle. So this is only supposed to be 3/4 of the way shaded. 38 upper left. Half, it cannot be a decimal point for the visibility. What's wrong, Cam? What does yours look like? Show me. Oh yeah, we're going, this is the other one on the top. We good now? Okay, so 38, a fraction for half, no decimal. A triangle with a dot in the center, 34. 995, notice, no 9 in front of it, no decimal point, no labels. Negative 0.2, not 0.2, 0.2. 0.75, this one is a decimal. And the stick has to be over here in the lower left, nope, that's right, lower right corner with 2 feathers. It doesn't matter if your feathers are pointing up like this one or down. The feathers don't matter as long as there's 2 full feathers. This one good? Jack, do you have your homework done? Okay. All right, here is the bottom. I think this is going to be the bottom left, but let's double check. Yep, bottom left one. So 55, that's an eighth. I don't think they would have done that that 0.125 actually on the Regents. It would be more normal numbers. But an equal sign after that, the wind stick in the lower left, 55 degrees for the dew point, 756, negative 0.1 and 0.25. No labels, not even a little degree symbol. Any labels and they're wrong. Questions on this one? And the final one. This one was an empty circle. 78 degrees, 47, or so 78 upper left, 47 lower left. There is no present weather or visibility listed for this one. There was 0 precipitation, so I did put a 0 there. You didn't have to though. Then plus 0.2, 0.85, wind stick upper right with 2 full and a half a feather. Questions? Okay, I got a question. Of the 4 of those, which one has the highest humidity? So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Highest humidity, 3. So I meant, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, why 3? Why this one has the highest humidity? You need to be able to defend your answer. Temperature and the dew point are the same. That's the biggest one. You could also include that it's 100% cloudy is another good reason. It is actually foggy. Those are all also good reasons to why it's humid. All right, so that's that. You're sure you don't have questions? Yeah. All right. So now, like I said, we're done with the chapter, but we have not done anything that ties everything together. So before we wrap up the chapter, we're just going to do some more or not some more. We're going to do some practice putting everything together. So what I want to do is I want to give you 20 minutes to work through pages 46, 47, and 48. I know that sounds like a lot of questions, but it's not. There's like, in fact, on 47, there's 2 questions and a giant picture. 47 just has a few questions on it, and 48 has a decent amount, but I'm sure you can figure it out within 20 minutes. If you would like to work with somebody for the next 20 minutes, you can, but promise me this, that you're actually working together, not one person doing the first half, the second person doing the second half and switching. This is a time for everybody to practice. If you don't want to work with somebody, you don't have to. And I also request you ask for help if you need it. Okay, go. So like I was saying, I keep getting the same question here on page 47. So instead of me answering it 100 times, let me just go ahead and go over it once here. So first of all, for questions 3 and 4, both questions ask about, in this case, we want a warm, moist air mass, and here we want a cold, dry air mass. So hopefully you did not fall for their trick. What are your choices with air masses? These are choices for air masses. If you drew these are not air masses, these are fronts. So hopefully you remember. So the first one was warm and moist. Which one of these stands for warm and moist? Okay, maritime tropical is warm and moist. So this first one, warm and moist. Maritime tells us it's moist. Tropical tells us it's warm. How about cold and dry? Okay, that's a continental polar. Now this question 5 and 6 is where I keep getting lots of questions. I'd really like you guys paying attention. Okay, so everybody put down their stuff, even if I already helped you, because I want to make sure you got this. This is asking, where did the warm air mass originate? So first thing you have to do is find the warm air mass. It's right here. It's that chunk of air that is warm and moist. The front is the front of that warm and moist air. So this is where it begins, and this whole chunk back here, so probably even, I should have included this to be a little bit larger. That's the whole chunk of warm air mass. And then it asks where it originated. So hopefully you know what the word originate means. Where did it come from? So to figure out where it came from, you kind of got to check out where it's going. And hopefully remember that these bubbles on the warm front point to where it's going. So this air mass is going in this direction. So if you're able to tell me where it's going, can you also tell me where it's from? So if an arrow is going this way, how do I figure out where it came from? The opposite. So if it's going this way, it came from back here. So same thing here. This air is going this way. So basically put it in reverse. Where did it come from? Right in this location. Now I am surprised this isn't labeled. If this was on the Regents, it would be labeled. This is the Gulf of Mexico. Florida would have probably worked as well, but the Gulf of Mexico is the best answer. How about the cold air mass? So the cold air is in a slightly different spot. Here's the cold air. And again, the arrows are telling you where it is going. So it's going this way. If I reverse those, so if I reverse going, so it's going this way. If I put it in reverse, it's going this way. What's up here on this map? Again, I know it's not labeled. It is Canada. You could have also put Alaska. Either one of those would work. So to figure out where something came from, you have to first look to see where it's going. So hopefully that helps for questions 5 and 6. Work on questions 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just work on keep going. We got a couple more minutes. All right, let's finish going over this side. Which one's going to have 100% humidity, A, B, or C? No, like really answer me. Which one's going to have 100% humidity in this case? Why B? Because you could go because it's got 100% cloudy, but there's another dead giveaway. Yeah, I know you can't probably see it left on mine, but the dew point and the temperature are both 82. And yes, it is 100% cloudy. Either one of those would have been good answers. Which one's going to get colder in the next couple of days? A, yes, because the cold front is pointing to A. Which direction is the wind blowing towards in weather station C? So here's weather station C. Remember that these stick models, that stick is telling you where the wind came from. This question asks, where is it blowing towards? So hopefully you remember that's the butt of the arrow and you got to add the head of the arrow. So in this case, it is blowing towards the southeast. There were 3 things I was looking for how you know this was a low pressure system. There should be 1 dead giveaway. Hello? What is 1 dead giveaway that this is a low pressure? What? The L. So the big L. Whoever's talking, stop. I shouldn't have to talk over you. What's another way I know this is a low pressure system? The winds are moving counterclockwise. This is going this way. That's going that way. If you follow the wind arrows on the station models, they are going counterclockwise. Now, did anybody figure out the 3rd reason? Nope. One thing I'm not actually sure if I talked about yet is on your pressure chart. You know, we used it like the first day we worked on this chapter. This 1 atmosphere that's listed right here, that's like normal pressure. Any number lower than that is considered a low pressure. Any number higher than that's considered a high pressure. So if we look at the actual pressures, now there's a couple ways to look at the pressure. Actually, there's only one. Do you see the pressures listed on this map? There is in the background an isobar map. So lines that connect areas of equal pressure. And hopefully you see that we've got 1012. And what's this one? This one's 1008, 1004, 1000. This one would be 996. There are 2 things about that. The numbers are actually really low, and they're also decreasing as you go towards the center. So you could answer that a couple different ways. I just went with the numbers are low numbers. When we did these fronts, I told you only we're going to have to know a couple of things about fronts. And one was that, what does warm air always do? Warm air always rises. So right off the bat, you can at least get rid of one of these. Which one can I get rid of? 4, because the warm air is sinking. Warm air does not sink. Now we want to know what this looks like going from station A to station B. Taking a look at this, let's start. Is station A warm or cold on this map? Warm. How do you know it's warm? Okay, you could look at the temperature, but honestly, that's not the best way, because how do we know if it's warm or cold if we have nothing to compare it to? The key is it's in the warm air mass. It's behind the warm front, so it means the warm front's already passed over it, and A is warm, and B is about to be warm. Also, which way is the wind blowing? From A to B or from B to A? A to B. Remember, these point in the direction the wind is blowing. So it's blowing this way. Knowing which way it's blowing can also help me get rid of some answers. Which ones can I get rid of because the wind's blowing in the wrong direction? I can get rid of 2. I can also get rid of 1. Now, you better double check to make sure 3 is correct. Yes, the wind is blowing from A to B and the warm air is rising. Answer for that one's number 3. It does want you to circle this one to make sure. Hopefully you notice it was already circled. The kicker with this is we need the wind to blow counterclockwise towards the low. What weather instrument is used to measure pressure? Just gotta memorize that. A barometer. Which one's going to have the highest wind speed? B. Why? Lines are closer together. Which one, A, B, C, or D, is the center of a high pressure? So hint, B and D aren't it. They're not the center of anything. So is it A or C is the high pressure? A, those are the higher numbers, which leaves C for the low pressure. Could you give me a pressure for D? What? 1,010 could work. Literally anything between 1,008 and 1,012, as long as you didn't pick 8 or 12. I am also going with 1,010 millibars. Again, this is asking which way is the wind blowing towards? Is it blowing towards A or B? Hopefully you remember it goes from the high to the low. So it's going towards B. And at location A or C is the wind blowing counterclockwise. Hopefully you remember that the clock is high on the wall, the counter is low on the wall. So it's going counterclockwise around the low, which is answer C. And that would leave answer A to go clockwise because it's high pressure. I only kind of mentioned it. Which way do the winds typically blow in the United States? From where to where? Nope, they do typically go from the west to the east. If you think about a weather report and they're like, where is our wind coming from? Or where is our weather coming from? We always get it from Ohio or Michigan, and it blows across the lake towards us. Which location is the air rising? Do we want high or low pressure for rising? This should be the low pressure. Air sinking is going to give you a high pressure. So the low pressure is answer C. The high pressure where the air is sinking is answer A. This is all the kind of stuff that you're going to see on your take-home test, which I'm going to give you right now. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Guys, with the take-home test, how should you answer the questions? Right. You should answer them right. Good answer. But where are you going to get the right answer? Everywhere. No, don't use the brain on take-home test. Guys, I'm okay with cheating. But listen, guys, listen. A take-home test is a test you can use all your resources. What are your resources? Yes, they're your notes. Yes, they're your reference table. And people want to say Google. Sure, you can find the answers on Google. No, listen. I'm telling you, I didn't use Google to write the test. I used your notes and your reference table to write the test. You will have an easier time getting your answers from your notes and the reference table than finding them on Google. Also, I want to warn you that, guys, is anyone listening to me? I literally sound like a screaming idiot because none of you are listening. Ready? Guys, this does count as a test grade. That means if you don't do it, you get a 0 on a test, which means your grade will plummet. I plugged it into an average student's grade just to see what happened yesterday, and it took their grade from an 84, so a decent grade, down to a 72. Okay, just to get a 0. I also plugged in getting 100 on it. I don't remember what it was. It did increase it significantly. I just don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. Highly recommend putting the time in this to get it done and well. What? It's What?
What about I'm not gonna be here tomorrow?
So tomorrow we're gonna just work on this. Okay, so just a reminder, this is, oh my gosh, guys, why is no one listening to me? So stop talking. It's due Wednesday after break. So just in case you forget to do it, also, or you don't want to do it during break, you will have one day to do it when you come back. I will tell you though, especially if you want to get a good grade, I wouldn't wait until that Monday. We will have time in class to work on it tomorrow, but like I said, I want you to look up answers, and looking up answers takes a little bit longer than just knowing the answers. So if you're not here tomorrow, you're just missing out on in-class time to work on it. That's why I'm handing it out today. The end. Good luck. Have a good break. Do not, if you're not gonna be here, don't forget to watch the eclipse.